To listen to your message, press 1. Received October 13th at 2:55 p.m.
Hey, what's up, Martin? It's Manjuki. Noticed you were interviewing an author during your Throwback Metal Show. Last I checked, authors weren't metal. Maybe some, but I mean, who's next? J.K. Rowling from Harry Potter? So that was good, dude. What the hell?
To replay, press 4. To erase, press 7. Message erased. There are no more messages.
You're listening to the Throwback Metal Show with your host, Martin DeBourge, broadcasting live from the Metal Lair. And now your host will recap the latest news that won't affect your life at all, encapsulated in 15 seconds.
Okay, here we go. Slipknot has a new mask.
Who cares?
Paul Di'Anno has a new band.
Okay.
Steven Tyler has a new manager.
Who cares?
Scorpions Unplugged went gold.
Amazing, since albums don't sell.
Who's farewell tour.
Again?
Last Pink Floyd album.
Again.
Slash talks Velvet Revolver. Nothing happening.
Again.
My guest tonight is author Deanna Breen. She's got one book under her belt and another one coming out. And besides being cool as hell, she loves metal. She picked almost all the tracks you're going to be hearing tonight, and she knows I don't hold anything back. I do ask all the tough questions, but this time so can you. Join us in the chat room, koshermetal.com, and ask your questions for Deanna.
Excellent!
She's the only author I know unashamed of her heavy metal roots. Case in point is this song.
Hey metalheads, this is Mark from Attackhead. You're listening to the Throwback Metal Show. Sit back, strap yourself in, and enjoy the ride.
Now you will know why you're afraid of the dark. Now you will know.
All right, this is Martin DeBourge. You're listening to the Throwback Metal Show. Let's see. Let's kick this right off. We got Deanna from down the hill when we're up here in the high desert. She came up the hill for the live interview. Deanna, say hello.
Hello.
There you go. And I'm watching the chat room because I got a couple guys watching to make sure that we are leveled out. Some guy named Sean.
Hey, Sean.
He's particularly watching out to make sure that my levels are going to be okay. But I know that Manjuki will give me a call if the levels are not up to snuff. So right now, since I'm not seeing any red alerts and levels seem that they're okay, then we're going to get right into it. Deanna, let's just make sure that everybody knows we went to high school. I think we even went to junior high together.
I think we did, yeah.
Did we not?
Yeah, we did. A little bit, yeah.
That would be Rainy, right?
That was Rainy.
Wow. We raised a little bit of ruckus, I know. Anyway, that's behind us. We're not even going to mention what year, right?
No, we won't.
No, we won't. I'm down with you. We are in agreement. I'm just double checking. She is kind of faint, is what Sean says. You need to remember that little motion. Yeah.
I'm in.
All right, we're back in. It's all good. So let's, you know what? I brought you in here to talk to you about Deanna Breen, the author. We'll also get into the books, but let's talk about Deanna Breen, the author, and what brought you to that point. So before we get to the authorship, what happened after high school? What'd you do?
After high school, I went a little crazy, had a little bit of fun. I waited until my 10th reunion, so that ages me a little bit right there, to finally join the Army.
10th reunion, high school.
Yeah.
You went into the Army. Wow, 10 years after, not right out.
Not right out.
And what'd you do in the military?
I was a mechanic.
Wow.
Big wheel, heavy wheel mechanic.
Were you good?
It was good.
Real
I
good.
got promoted.
Right. That's cool. And so how long did you do that?
I was a mechanic for almost 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah.
Well,
It was fun.
Yeah.
I'll move on to my second calling, but
Yeah. We'll get to your second calling, which I assume you're calling your second calling. Before it was your second calling, you left the military, and you did what for work?
Before the military?
Yeah, little things here and there. What'd you do?
Let me see, what did I do? I worked for a cabinet company. I just was having fun.
Cool.
I moved
Cool.
around.
All right, that's good. And you had, I assume you had some kids?
I had some kids. That was after the military. That's my second calling.
Yeah.
The third calling is...
Well, your kids are listening in, and it would only be right that if you gave them a little shout-out. If you feel uncomfortable saying their names, you don't have to, but it's up to you.
Hey, kiddos. I miss you.
And they are listening. That's cool. But I understand they're teenagers, and they're totally fine with maybe us cussing our ass off as the show progresses.
Yes. They remind me all the time that they're old enough.
At any rate, it's going to be a fun, interesting show as well. As the night progresses, I've got a lot of songs on tap that you actually chose. And when I asked you as we led up to this interview, I was expecting you to give me a whole slew of bands not from the 70s and not from the 90s. I'm being a little evasive on what decade we're talking about. But instead, you gave me a lot of modern stuff, too, which I found cool. But it also happens to fit under what we do with the Throwback Metal Fest. And next up is going to be a song by Black Label Society.
Yeah.
Have you seen them live, everybody?
I have seen them. They're awesome.
Did you really?
Somebody named Sean introduced me to them.
So it was a SoCal show when you went to go see them,
yeah.
I got to see them in, what was that, Davenport or St. Louis when I was in the Midwest. And Zach is the coolest guy.
Yeah. They got good stage presence.
Yeah, absolutely. But they strike you as the kind of band that just loves their audience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't even know what I decided to play. I'm looking at it. My Dying Time.
Yay.
That's Yay?
It's military. Yay.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is military.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool. Okay, so, but before we get into that, we're going to also talk about your book. You have one called, in fact, right before, I'm making sure, right before we play the Black Label Society song, I was putting the show together, and I remembered that I did a voiceover for one of your commercials, so we're going to play that right before the Black Label Society, which I enjoyed, and I'm hoping I get to do for your next book as well. When I listened to it, I'm like, damn, I want to buy this book.
You were good.
Thank you.
I wanted to buy it.
Thank you. Yeah, Hyundai gave me the quick synopsis about what the book was about, and I said, let's get some drama in there. And I think maybe I did it. I don't know. We'll see.
Absolutely.
We'll let them be the judge, and we'll play it. And we'll come back and talk about those books and some other things. You're listening to the Throwback Metal Show, and let's play a couple tunes here, and we'll get back to Deanna.
Looking In by Deanna Breen Ball. Susan's seemingly chance encounter with a man down on his luck unveils a world of romance, mystery, and danger. Things are not always as they seem. Somebody's watching you. Looking In by Deanna Breen Ball. Available everywhere ebooks are sold.
This is Greg from Heavy Justice, and you're listening to the Throwback Metal Show.
It's the only remaining empire. Of course, you had an empire once. Britain had a great empire, and impressively commandeered and sequestered from the rest of the world. With great style. You just marched in and said, you and you, fuck off, we're having tiffin. And everybody sort of went, oh, right, I'm going to be off now, that's fine. And it took centuries for people to go, hang on a minute, we live here. The American style is totally different, far more insidious. This empire is run on a totally different basis. What America does is it has a nosy in some place, some war-torn, fucked-up place, and that looks for oil or chocolate or whatever it wants. And all the indigenous people obviously get pissed off, and they begin to meet. They begin to foment. They ring each other up and say, you, Habuwa, let's meet and foment at 6 o'clock. In the local bombed-out cafe, they gather round and they say, what are we I'm doing a pan-global accent, okay? It saves time, because America gets around a lot of places. What are we going to do about the fucking imperialistic Yankee big dog, huh? What are we going to do? They come in here, they look around, they take our stuff. What are we going to... I'm talking to you. Put down the beans. Listen, what are we going to do? And then what America does, while these people are talking, it very, very gradually builds a Starbucks around them. And then... they all become addicted to latte and they lose the will to rebel. and then they turn into Americans.
We're all living in America, America. It's wonderful.
All right, Martin DeBourge back with you. My guest, Deanna Breen, here in the studio. We've got a lot more songs and interview segments coming up. But before we get to that, the next line of questioning I wanted to address to Deanna has to do with, let's be honest. You left high school. You went into the military. You got out of the military. You got into some work. I'm dancing around this question because I'm staying away from the age question. But at our age, what behooves you to say, I'm going to write a damn book?
What behooves me? Well, let me see. You know what? I'm a reader. And I've been taking notes since I was a little kid, just pieces of paper everywhere. So I read plenty of books, and all of a sudden I ran out of books that I found pleasure in. And I thought, you know what? I could write something. I could do something. And I always wanted to have notes everywhere. I'm going to figure something out. And I started writing, and I went with it. We're promoting now.
So, did you... I'm fascinated, so I'm starting from scratch, just like all the other metalheads out here are just now putting down the joint and the drink.
Right.
Let's just start over. Let's slowly go into this and discover you and what happened. Did you have an idea? Did you say, I think I have a storyline that would be cool?
You know what, I didn't. I went with what I did in the book, actually. I was out exercising one day, and I didn't have the headphones on. I was bored while I'm running, and I'm a daydreamer, and I just started conjuring something up, and that's where chapter 1 came in. But actually, realistically, I'm a theorist. Many of us are in America. We're theorists and we sit on our butts. Well, this one does. And so I just, I'm paranoid, semi-paranoid about what the government has they're privy to us.
Sure.
I kind of went with it, and I was like, hey, what if? What if? And I used my what ifs, and just turned, a semi-life scenario into a book.
Would you say that your idea kind of, once you started just putting pen to paper or fingers to typing, it sounds to me like it's a lot like music. Just get those first 2 verses out, and the rest will come. Is that what happened?
Yeah, definitely. It rolled into the second book. So yeah, it definitely does.
And we will talk about the second book, but the similarities, researching, getting ready for this interview today, the similarities between the music industry and being an author, writing a book, and getting it quote unquote published, or choosing to go indie, or do you choose to sign, etc. They're all questions that I think that the answers are almost identical when it comes to music.
They are.
It seems. And so I would imagine that you had this finished piece of work, and you tried to get published first. Out beyond you.
Yeah, I did. I think that as artists, we're all impetuous, no matter what. We have that in us. It takes being impetuous to write, whether you're writing lyrics, or you're writing a poem, or you're writing a book. And so sometimes with being impetuous, you can be patient. And I did the typical stuff, and I went through it. I wrote it. And currently wearing many hats because now I've learned how to publish. I've learned how to promote. I've learned how to do many things because of being impetuous. But just like you.
Right. Just like us. And because of the state of the music industry, we get to a point which I imagine is not that unlike this industry of writing a book. You almost decide, I could do this better than some of the smaller time people could do it. And there's a lot of selling yourself, which I know you do. But you're very active. I'm watching everything you do, and your signings, appearing in person, I imagine, is very important for people. Yeah. Well, that's cool. And we'll get to that, because that kind of goes into some of the questions I had later on. But I'm going to play a song for the audience that I probably will never play again. Well, I shouldn't say never, but I'm going to play this one because, interestingly enough, you and I have talked about how the cover band that I was in when I relocated to Southern California. And if Manjuki is listening, this song is actually legitimately, I've got all my permissions. I paid my $56.49 to get permission to play this cover song, and it's all legit. Anyway, Chixie Dicks, the band got the old crew back together, didn't it? It was so nice. I loved it. And so I'm going to play one song, and a memorandum of that, I suppose. And I will never play it again. So. No, please. Anyway, damn it, here we go again. I got 30 seconds to fill. 30
seconds to fill.
La-ti-da-da-da. I don't know. Shit.
Cursing word?
Yeah, expletives. We'll use some expletives. Fuck that. Let's just go to the song.
and you're listening to the Throwback Metal Show.
All right, Martin DeBourge back with you for the Throwback Metal Show. We got an active chat room, people popping in and out, as well as Facebook. It looks like all of Deanna's support group is coming out. I don't know. Do you want to say hi to any of those people?
Hi, support group.
Generically, hello, support
There's
group.
There's a lot of people. Sherry. Hi, Sherry. I miss you.
There you go.
Diane.
That's cool. That's cool. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, which I find kind of cool about your books, is it's not entirely 100% just made up. You're actually gleaning from some things around you, right? And there's some things I won't ask you about.
Okay.
But there are some cool things that, like I remember you saying something about even the high desert up here is kind of tied in a way, in the wine country, and all that's very cool. So I mean, tell me about that process.
Well, So I went to college and I get a business degree. And when I write, I think marketing-wise. And I also associate a lot of Southern California. I think of traffic, I think of locations. And with locations, everyone out here's been somewhere that I've mentioned in the book. And I just want, as a reader, I like a connection. And so I want my readers to find some kind of connection. No matter how small it is, they'll find a connection with my book.
Right.
That's why I use it.
Well, that's cool. I mean, and again, we talk about the similarities between writing a book and writing music. If you're writing something completely alien that has nothing to do with somebody can't latch on to something.
Right.
Then you've kind of lost them. So I think that's cool that you do that. I think it's safe for us to say you live in an area of Riverside County in Southern California, right?
Yep.
And a lot of that is in your writing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's cool. But beyond the locality, one of the songs we played recently was by Rammstein.
Yes.
Rammstein, depending on which side of the block you're on.
Yeah.
But it had something to do with that whole thing too, Germany, etc.
Yeah, I like Germany. I've traveled there, and I try and find a way to bring people there. Since I served over there, and I write, I've been taught that you write according to what you know. It makes it easier. It makes it more realistic.
Right.
And I know Germany. I was there, and I just wanted to bring people there. So.
That's cool. I, too, went to Germany and absolutely loved it. The countryside, the people, I mean, just everything about it.
Amazing.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I played at a festival, and I can't even pronounce the name of the town we were in where we did it, but everybody from everywhere came to this festival. But just the German people, I mean, beer's the common language, you know.
Exactly.
But
they're drinking at 13 there.
Right. Which isn't a bad law, I suppose, because it can teach you moderation. Although I didn't meet a German that exercised moderation.
I don't know. They were pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the soldiers.
The soldiers, of course. But I mean, yeah, I agree. Germany was a beautiful place. I can't wait to go again. Is any of that in your future?
Definitely.
Yeah?
My girls still talk about it. I do want to go back.
Your girls have been?
No, they haven't. Actually, the reason one of my daughters is named her name, Annalise, because I was in Germany, and that's what we picked up her name. So she has her connection there, but they definitely want to go because they see my pictures, they see my travels.
Very cool, very cool. I know that I landed in Frankfurt and we drove for a couple hours. That's all I know, because I couldn't tell you all that, but I loved every experience. And the restaurant, of course, where they don't, schnitzel. And when you people,
it's not a hot dog.
Yeah, no. And when people here say I'm going to make you chicken fried steak, I'm like, right? Because it's not the same.
It's not the
same, but
it's not beef over there.
No, but it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, when we talk about using points of interests, like you do locations and whatnot, I guess this next song that we're playing by Whitesnake is kind of tied in as well.
Oh yeah. Ever since I was younger and I watched Tawny Katane rolling around on the Jaguar, I've been obsessed with Jaguars. So they're in both of my books. And one day I'll own one.
Right? That would be awesome. Maybe second book will bring in that kind of money.
I'm looking for it.
Right? Let's see if we can help you do that. But we can't. I'm just
sure?
That's the second martini talking, and
Okay.
and I don't know that I could really help you do that.
But it's recording, so I'm not hold you.
I'll edit this part out, right where I said I'll see if I can help you do that, and then we'll go on it.
I think there's a public listening.
Blah blah blah. But as it turns out, at least two of the Whitesnake videos had, what's her name again?
Tawny Katane.
Tawny Katane.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm only familiar with her name of the way she looks now, and it's not the same.
I don't know. She's holding up a little. I don't know.
She's holding up.
Yeah. I think she's my age in the videos. Now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That quote-unquote elusive age that we're not going to divulge. It wasn't the 60s, wasn't the 70s, wasn't the 90s.
It wasn't.
All right, we'll come back.
It was the golden age.
Throwback Metal Show, a show like none other, so turn it up!
All right, Martin DeBourge, the Throwback Metal Show. I'm back with you. My guest, Deanna Breen, author, friend, etc., etc. My next line of questioning for you has to do with, you talked about how you brought on many faces and roles and getting your book out there and the things that you had to do. And it kind of reminded, we keep talking about the similarities between the music industry and the... what should I call it? The publishing industry?
Writing industry.
The writing industry. There's a lot of industry. There's a lot of similarities there, and I know that there was a time there when I was coming back to, because there was a time I stopped, and when that time when I was coming back to it, recording and not going out there live appealed to me. I like the idea of just staying at home and recording songs and releasing them or whatnot. But the industry's not what it used to be, as I'm sure it's true for the publishing or writing industry. But it soon was convinced upon me that your face being seen was important, very important.
Yeah.
And so that's my next line of questioning for you is you wrote this book, you get it out there. I mean, in the perfect world, it releases on X date, and you're hoping you sell 100,000 copies, and it doesn't happen. So you realize you got to go out there and do stuff.
Yeah, maybe in the next book I'll write about the perfect world, but
yeah.
I have to do a lot, and that's one of the negatives about being indie. You do have to do a lot of footwork. You do have to promote, and since our attention span is so minimal, not even in America but everywhere, because of technology, which is a blessing and a curse. I use it for me completely. Technology is my biggest avenue for promotion. So.
Right, and I wanted to talk quite a bit about that. Interestingly, you found out that you weren't getting signed on right away and to go indie. We're crossing our fingers very hard that the second book may not have that outcome, but the first one did.
Yes.
And so you have to, you're scheduling your own book signings and your appearances and what have you.
Actually, I get calls. Fortunately, Corona, it's one of my big, Corona goes in the book. I'm a big promoter for Corona and local IE stuff. But
for our nationwide listeners, that's Corona, California, Southern California.
Beer, yes.
All right, yeah.
Which I would also promote. But so they help support. They have me come in for signings, and we do meet and greets, and I got to do Barnes and Noble. That was through the Corona Library too. So
wow.
So I do get some support. I am recognized, little by little. These stepping stones, they're getting easier for me to bear.
So to backtrack, just so I can talk about it some more, because I'm a huge fan of that library. We're talking about the Corona Public Library.
Which is much bigger than when we were kids.
Right? Do you remember that little rinky-dink? It wasn't in the 70s and it wasn't in the 90s.
Golden.
Anyway. But, so that's awesome. I mean, some of that staff is still there, too. Been around a long time over there.
Yeah.
And they're supported. That's great to hear. I know that I frequent the Friends of the Bookshop.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? The Friends of the Library. Friends of the Library, and they have a bookshop.
Yeah.
I mean, I go in there with an empty bag because I'm going to walk out with a lot of books.
Oh, yeah. They do have a good deal,
yeah. So do you have anything coming up there?
I don't. I haven't bothered them. I want to wait. I'm waiting to see how everything goes with
right.
So.
Which we have high hopes for, is all we'll say.
Exactly.
Okay. And if something like that happens, Corona or anywhere locale?
I do. I want to stay local. I want to stay to my roots when I start. Being indie, I love all small. I do everything small. And, the funnest thing is to hear someone say, I hope you remember us little people, and I'll always be a little people.
Right. Yeah. And when it comes to that similarity between the music industry and the writing industry, I know you feel the same thing I do. It's hard to put it into words, but when somebody says, I read your book.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, you can't really expound on that much more than the feeling that it's just awesome.
No, it's not even about the notoriety. It's just that, someone likes what you've done. They've read it. They've done your work. Someone's been in your head.
Right, exactly. That one person, I know there's more, but that one person took the time to tell you, I read your book.
Yeah,
that's an incredible feeling.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
I have a thing about quality time, and when someone gives you their time, that's quality,
Absolutely, and they didn't just do it to come up to you and tell you I read your book. They spent, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to read your book. That's very moving, and I agree with you. Same thing with music when somebody says, I have your album, it's in my CD rotation player, and it's like, wow. Yeah. It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy. It's humbling as well.
Exactly.
So, anyway, we're going to play you another one of your favorites, Screaming in the Night.
Imagine if marriage didn't exist. You're a guy and you ask a woman to get married. Imagine what that conversation would be like. You'd be like, hey, so, we've been hanging out together all the time, spending a lot of time together and everything. Yeah, I know. I want to keep doing that till you're dead. What? I want to keep hanging out with you till one of us dies. Put this ring on your finger so people know we have an arrangement. What? Who's that guy? It's a priest. I want you to swear to God you won't back out of this deal. What's he wheeling in? It's a cake with 2 tiny dolls that look like us. Eat a slice. Now feed a little bit to me. This is really strange. Why are we doing this? Tax purposes.
This is Martin DeBourge, Throwback Metal Fest. I have Deanna Breen here in the studio with me. We've covered a lot of topics. Next thing we're going to talk about is her next book. For those that are just now tuning in and they're wondering why the Throwback Metal Show is interviewing Deanna, who is an author, Deanna is also a heavy metal fan, and we've been over that. And if you didn't catch that first part of the show, you're just going to have to tune into the YouTube video that we'll put up this week. But for now, we're talking about her being an author. We've covered that. We've covered her being in the military and out of the military, some of the work she did and how she approached her first book. And now we're going to talk about her second book, which is in the works.
It is in the works. It's completed.
It's completed. Is it a continuation of the first book?
It is a continuation of the first book, and there is actually anticipation for it. It's exciting. That's my driving force, is the anticipation. I have people who are nagging me to get it done. And it took me a little bit longer than I expected, and the book is longer, and it's juicier.
Juicier.
So it's juicier.
I want you to define juicy. Like, what's going on?
You'll read the book and get the definition.
Okay.
I can't give it all away. Come on.
No, I don't expect you to give it all away. However,
someone in the book did.
Someone in the book what?
Gave it all away.
Someone in the book gave it all away. See, that's another teaser hint that I'm not.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Okay. All right. Cool. Off the air, we were talking about how this book is bigger than the first book.
It is bigger. It's longer. I took my time with it.
A lot more ground to cover, though?
There is more ground to cover. It's, more paranoias come in. I just, I pay attention to detail, and by detail I mean, like, covering the globe.
Sure.
And, looking at things politically and looking at things, how we're driven security and safety nowadays. I kind of bring that in and use it, along with relationships, real life.
So the first book was called Looking In. Does the second book have a title?
The second book currently, right now, depending on how everything goes, and what I'm choosing is Eyes That Follow.
Eyes That Follow.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Since I'm kind of knowledgeable of your first book, The Eyes That Follow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Which is also, it depends on whose the eyes can be. We all know that I'm, a theorist. So the eyes could be the government. It could be, the first book we know, she's got a stalker.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe if I was a normal interviewer, I'd leave it at that. But I'm sure that you're thinking in the back of your mind, wouldn't it be fucking cool if this became a movie someday?
You know what? I had so many people. Even my first editor, who's done many books, my first editor said book one is too easy to turn into a movie. He said the location is perfect, the storyline is really good, and his actual review from me when he did it, he said it's another author, main author right now, who's got many movies out. He said it's Spark-esque.
Spark-esque. I got you.
Yeah. So, which was, to be honest, to me, I thought that was too mushy, but as I was researching, he does hit some stuff that I do hit. So, yeah.
And so, the second, you know what? Damn, you really put me in a hard place because I can't divulge.
Yeah, you can't.
I can't divulge anything.
No.
But so that really,
it's
you know
juicy.
what? And I thought to myself, if we get to that point where I can't ask any more questions along those lines, and I know that I can't release any good secrets that I'm privy to. That we'll talk about shoes. That my wife actually pointed out that you're wearing green Converse just like I am.
I saw that.
And what the listening audience doesn't know is I totally called up Deanna and said, "Hey, girl, what are you wearing tonight?"
And I'm
on
going
the
to
show.
curl my hair while you curl your hair.
But you know what? Green Converse is a universal language, though.
It is.
Might not be in Germany.
So's my shirt, universal language.
Oh, let's tell everybody what your shirt says.
What does it say? Can you say it?
You want me to say it? I've had 3 martinis.
So you could probably really pronounce it well.
Sodally Tober.
There you go.
Sodally Tober. Indeed we are. Anyway, we're going to play a Y&T song, and I lied when I said that this was our last interview segment because we actually have one more interview segment that we are going to cover with Deanna Breen when we come back. But first, let's play some Y&T. And when we come back, we'll play a little bit more after our last interview segment with Deanna.
You want to mess with people from England? Next time you meet somebody from England, act like you've never heard of it. They get so mad. Hey, that's an interesting accent. Where are you from? I'm from England. I just think it's the only accent in the world you can't do without making a retarded face every time you do it. I'm from England. I'm sorry, where? England. I've never heard of it. England? Little island beside Europe. Is that near Miami? England, you bloody fool. I believe you're speaking our language. I'm speaking English. I don't know what the hell you're speaking right now. You're speaking constipatese or something, all right? You need some fiber, Jeeves. I think that's why English guys don't get laid a lot, because women don't want that pounding them, do they, you know? Oh, my. Oh, what a delightful feeling. This is smashing. Oh, my God, I'm arriving.
All right, Martin DeBourge, Throwback Metal Show. We are back with Deanna Breen here in the studio. This is our last interview segment. And one of the things I wanted to touch base on before we actually touched on a couple things was writing practice. I know that as a musician, the stars got to align. Everything's got to be just right. Or you can pretend to write something, but it's all going to be shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when everything's just right and everything's aligned, something comes out and it's amazing.
It does. It comes out. I'm not Hemingway. I can't get drunk and write, fortunately. So I run, open. That's how the first book started. So I get out there and I exercise, and I think it comes to me, and I think, and fortunately, it's a double positive.
So you come back after a run with ideas you got to put down.
Yeah, it's all in there. It sticks because that makes me run farther because I keep repeating over.
Right.
And kind of like a cadence in the military. So yeah.
Oh wow! So would you say that if the idea hasn't come on a run, you're going to extend that run until an idea?
Well, no. Then I drive.
Okay.
Because driving also helps.
All right. And what about driving helps you think?
I don't know what it is. It's like it's a clarity in my car. Even with the girls in the car, it's really quiet and it's serene, and I just see things. And fortunately, I pick everything up. I pay attention to detail, which causes the paranoia.
Right.
But yeah, it gives me a lot of fodder.
But it's like we discussed earlier this evening. It's those little things that almost. If you just kind of run with that little idea, it writes itself.
It does, yeah. I pay attention to everyone's life, and those little things in everyone's life, there's a connection, and I think that's something. Kind of like, Seinfeld, the goofiest things made for a syndicated show, So.
And they did, man. Did they not capitalize on that? That's insane.
That's excellent. My favorite.
Is it? Okay, all right. One of the things I wanted to talk about before we finally talked about where we can actually get your book is, I don't think you were unlike this in high school, but obviously some time passes and life experiences kind of come into play. And mold who you are. You are a strong woman. Yes. Everybody knows you are. And it's a banner to wave proudly. But I wonder, have you come across, because obviously in Radioland nobody can see what you look like. You don't look like your average author either, right? Okay. So being a strong woman and being not looking like all your other authors, has that worked for you, not worked for you? Are you tuned into how that could be good or bad?
Thank you very much for the compliment.
It was a guised compliment, by the way. I didn't really spill it out, but go on.
Okay. You know what? It's never really been a problem. I think, fortunately, as a writer, your word, what you say, that's your representation. So pretty much anyone I send anything to is through word. But realistically, in the Army, it was a battle for me. A little bit of a battle. But fortunately, it makes you stronger. That's what makes you even stronger as a female, is you have to prove yourself. So
absolutely,
yep,
absolutely.
Yep, so.
Well, I mean, I personally have found strong women important. I mean, I might lose half my listenership, but strong women appeal to me, and I think they need to be.
Yes.
Not just need to be in the sense that in a perfect world where we don't have chauvinists that are working against you.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you be as strong as anybody else?
Yes, and I don't take that position with chauvinism. I just know that we're individuals, and I deal with everybody on an individual basis.
Right.
And because, like I said, I pay attention to detail. I recognize immediately how I need to treat an individual. So.
Absolutely. And you know what? As a frontman for bands, it's the same way. You key on positive energies.
Yeah.
And you kind of work away from the negative ones. And if somebody's an asshole, you treat them like an asshole. And if
is that what you guys are doing when you're looking into the crowd? Is that what it is?
No, most of those guys aren't. Most of those guys think they're the shit.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking for, I know I'm not the shit, so I'm looking for a couple of good faces that are just looking at me and giving me a good cue, and I know that, okay, I'm going to stare at you the rest of the night because you're helping me get through the show. So that's what I do.
We all know the words to your song.
So where can we get your book?
You can get my book wherever any ebooks are sold right now, actually. Any e-reader. I try and teach people that you can download any app for even your phone or your computer. I've got a lot of people who read on their computer at work, whether they get in trouble or not, I don't know. But yeah, so, and it's a good read. It's an easy read. It's meant to bring non-readers into reading.
So will they look for you by author, or will they look for you by book title?
They would look for me. The easiest way is, I found, if you put the whole Looking In by Deanna Breen Ball, you're going to bring it up. Every book has an ISBN. Mine has an ISBN, but it seems to be a battle to find it. So,
gotcha.
Whole title.
Yeah. So Looking In by Deanna, Breen Ball.
Yes.
And we're going to find you.
Yes, you will.
It was a pleasure having you here this evening, Deanna, and we'll do it again.
It was an absolute pleasure being here. Thank you.